something you can't fix.
If you can't fix what's broken, you'll go insane.
It's Jay and Adam. It's Preview.
It's Preview's Fix It with Adam and Jay.
Hey, peaches! Oh, welcome to Fix It. We're friends. Don't let friends fix pop culture alone.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Jay. And you're our listener.
Hey there, listeners.
Ho there, listeners.
I am the law of listeners.
That's right, everyone. Adam is judge, jury, and executioner in Blisteria. And I just chill out, you know? I just kind of let him go and,
do his thing.
Yeah. And, you know, Adam's bad cop and I'm good cop, all right?
Sure.
Yeah, but I'm going to get the confession out of you.
Really?
Yeah, I might have to, might take a hoagie and a diet pop, but I'm going to get it.
I'm sorry, do you refer to soda as pop?
No, not usually.
Okay.
But I feel like...
Because I'm about to judge you right now for it.
In an interrogation situation, I think it's a nice cold pop. If you're good cop, be like, hey, man,
you want the rhyme scheme.
I'll get you... No. Well, I mean...
I think that's subconsciously that's what it is.
I will say, I'm not mad at the rhyme scheme, but, you know, be like, hey, pal. Oh man, I'm sorry about Lashy. Yeah, he's been working too hard, but he really cares about this city. But yeah, sometimes his methods are kind of. Can I get you like a turkey club and a nice cold pop? You know what I mean? I'm pop cop. You know.
I hate you so much.
Welcome to our show, Fix It. I'm Jay, that's Adam. You may know us from the wildly successful YouTube reaction channel Previewed, where we react, review, and riff to all the things that you don't want, apparently. This is our show, Fix It, where every week Adam and I take a piece of pop culture that maybe missed the mark, maybe didn't quite get there, maybe just didn't have enough ammo in its super gun, and we fix it. And today, Adam and I are going to be fixing 2012's soft reboot /
kind of a sequel,
Judge Dredd. Nope. Excuse me. Just Dredd.
Single Dredd.
The Judge Dredd movie, the most recent one. But before we hop into fixing this film, we've come to our first segment of the show. Everyone's absolute most favorite segment.
We took a poll. Everyone voted.
It's everyone's favorite segment.
It's the law.
It's Roll for Convo. Our spectacular producer, Brian, has provided us with 20 topics of conversation. Because honestly, Adam and I at this point, you know, we've been growing our friendship, but now we just kind of need random stuff to talk about in order to...
It's true.
We're just turning over every stone with this segment. And I'm going to roll a 20-sided die to see what our topic is going to be in everyone's favorite, absolute most favorite segment, Roll for Convo. I'm rolling, and that is 15.
15. Oh, this is interesting. What's an intrusive song that will never leave your head?
An intrusive song that never leaves your head. I have so many songs running in my head kind of all the time.
Okay.
Like
this is like Jay's infinite playlist?
Kind of, yeah. Like, and it really just depends on the day, like what... you guys have seen my streams. You have, seen the reactions. I reference songs
a lot,
almost all the time. I even bring see songs in other people, the way other people are saying, even when they don't mean it. An example in our Jupiter's Legacy reaction when you were just like, Shell's dad killed himself. You just said it in that same way.
I did.
Dude, I say that to myself at least once a week. Dad killed himself.
Very funny.
And it's stuff that's come out of the channel, comes out of the channel a lot, sticks in my head quite a bit. I sing to myself a lot of times. They killed Big Doug. We are so sad he's dead. It's like, and it's one of the most esoteric bits we've ever done. But yeah, I have intrusive songs are like my whole vibe.
You're the intrusive song, the person?
Kinda, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I will get songs stuck in your head, I think, from time to time.
Sure, from time to time.
Does that happen to you at all?
Intrusive songs?
Yeah. Are you like humming a song at any point?
No. I mean, when I hear a song, I was like, "Oh, that's fun," and maybe it sticks around for a couple minutes, but then it's gone.
Yeah.
Then I focus on something else, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's also it's different when you become a parent because music actually is a large part of our home because we have found that the boy really likes music and
Sure.
he just kind of has a little bit more of a moderate like mood when we have music playing in the house.
Oh, okay.
Like it helps.
Mm-hmm.
And he likes it a lot. He's becoming quite the big Swiftie. Our
Oh.
boy, he likes Taylor Swift.
Sure.
But also there's some other but also you get toys. You have toys in your house that play songs that play over and over and over again. So my intrusive song right now is from for all the parents out there, they're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. The Fisher Price piano playmat combo. Maybe you could be a purple monkey in a bubblegum tree and yeah, every I've triggered so many parents that listen to this right now. That has become a large part of but also the one thing we have found that the boy's a Swiftie, but he also has gotten really into he really likes Michael McDonald.
Okay.
And so my intrusive song right now is taking it to the streets, come on, or I can't forget not in love anymore. I keep forgetting we're never gonna be the same. Yeah, that's been that will keep if I sing that while I'm changing his diaper, that will keep him from like, trying to like get he's gotten into the like trying to go on an adventure during diaper change time in a way that's really bothersome.
Okay.
Especially when he's got a real poopy diaper and it's like, he's like, hey, I could probably sit up right now. And we're like, no, you can't. You're gonna get poop. Yeah, he's trying to cheese it. Well, I'm trying to clean all the Cheez-Its. You know what I'm saying?
I gotcha.
Yeah. So if I sing, hey, it's James, changing your diaper, yeah. Changing your diaper, gonna move the poop. That's really what it devolves into is, hey, me. Get a bed and beer. We're podcast and Jay and Adam fix it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my intrusive thought like this week.
Mm-hmm.
But got anything for me, bud?
I really don't. I listened to songs and go, that was a good song. I like that song. What's the next song? Cool. This song is also good.
Well, you've heard the phrase that music is how you decorate time.
I've not heard that phrase.
Yeah. Art, like visual art and furniture and whatnot decorates the space, and then music decorates your time.
Nah, I've not heard that.
Yeah, I kind of I take that very much to heart. I like that concept.
Interesting.
Yeah. I do my best thinking while listening to music.
I can't.
Really?
Yeah.
Like when I have to like think of like not when I have to like focus on actual work, like nitty gritty, like sitting down, pen and paper work, but like if I have to like think of an idea, if I have to like come up like create something from whole cloth, I gotta listen to something.
Oh, interesting.
It like frees my brain up.
Oh,
If I like put on like an album I'm like really jiving with and like go for a walk, then I will come up with.
Oh,
yeah.
Get those other words out of my brain. I need my words right now.
Oh yeah.
Please stop other words.
Yeah, like when I was writing nav spots, I'd be like, I'm just gonna go for a walk. Really
I'm sorry, those spots are written.
Conceptually, yes. The concepts had to be created.
Bit writing.
Well, we gotta have some kind of legwork.
Just
You know what I mean? Yeah, people are like, Jay, this seems so like off the cuff. I'm like, yes, that's on purpose.
It's acting.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, when I think about when I need to like free my brain up to like concentrate on, nature sounds, the beach, rain. Rain helps.
Rain.
Yeah. Then you just go into the mind palace
Sit in
and
the
start.
rain.
Yeah.
Think about my feelings.
How do I fix this problem?
Oh, the rain Keep forgetting not in love anymore.
How do I get 7 audio inputs into this
Adam
on
sits
board? How do I edit this
and
thing?
he thinks in the rain. He's like a modern day samurai.
Yeah, maybe, you know what? I think probably the better thing for me is not just musical stings.
Yeah.
You know, like the
I have
like little stings like that, but not really. Not songs.
sometimes Lash. What do you like about life? Sometimes it's like we talk about like things we like, and you're like, yeah, I don't really care for this. I'm like, okay, well, let's add that to the list. What gets you up at like? You're like music, food, like what, this is too much. We can cut this out.
Not at all.
But like, what gets you up out of bed in the morning?
Me.
Okay.
Me doing rad cool stuff. Love
Okay.
the dream. Making jokes, Jay. My love language is jokes.
I know.
If I get Amanda to laugh, that's it. That's it. Like I did it. Ha! We just, making jokes, making silly faces, having a good time,
Okay.
laughing.
But like, I know you like you like television and movies and stuff.
Yeah,
Like, I know
stories.
that obviously. Yeah. Okay.
I'm a storyteller. You decorate time with music. I decorate time with stories.
Okay. Yeah, but like you can't. I see. Like if I put on like a narrative something, it's really hard for me to focus on what I'm doing because I'm focused too much on the thing.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I don't use music is not a distraction.
Music is
Music is the soundtrack to my story.
I see. You score your life. You don't soundtrack your life.
Yeah,
I soundtrack my life. Yeah. Interesting.
that's why I love epic badass music because I'm trying to live my best epic badass life.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want your stupid whimsy characters in my JRPG.
Yeah,
I
man.
just want cool badass big sword characters.
We got into it pretty hardcore about.
I just want to
Kingdom
be
Hearts
rad cool
before
guy.
We were recording this. We were setting up the podcast, and we were talking about Kingdom Hearts in a way that Adam wasn't trying to hurt my feelings, and I wasn't trying to hurt his. But I think we did. But look, big sweet boy with the big shoes. He'll have my heart forever.
The sweet boy with a big
You
big
should
sword.
like it. You should like it.
Nope.
It should be something you like, but that's fine. We're not here to talk about that. That's been anyways. Yeah. So Michael McDonald is stuck in my head right now. Well, this has been everyone's most favorite subject. What's your favorite video game?
Soundtrack?
Score.
Devil May Cry 5.
Devil May Cry 5. Was that Devil May Cry music?
That was the victory music from Final Fantasy 7.
Oh, that it is. All right, this has been Roll for Combo. Everyone's most favorite. Editing this every week. It's my favorite thing is that I try to end Roll for Convo like at least 2 or 3 times every episode.
Oh, you do?
And then we just keep going.
Oh, yeah. This is everyone's most favorite episode.
Should I edit out me trying to get out of this segment? Because I'm like, nah.
No.
But okay. Thanks for
convoing with me.
Yeah.
Good job rolling, Jay.
I did a great job.
You did a good job. Good job, Di.
Yeah, although sometimes I roll something and I go, well, Adam's not gonna have nothing for me.
Talk about music.
Oh, great. Beep. You get Sonny Stong stuck in your head? No. Why would I distract? I don't distract my mind. I'm too busy thinking thoughts in the rain. Anyways, so Dredd, the movie Dredd from 2018.
No, 2012. Rampage was from 2018.
That's
yeah.
right.
You just edited that,
I was just posting that. So, yeah, Dredd. This was 2012.
Yeah, I know, right?
This feels more.
Yeah.
This mentally feels more recent.
Yes, it does.
Interesting. 2012.
Yeah.
Wild. Anyways, but before we get into talking about Dredd today,
Dredd.
We should probably check in with our producer Brian. In everyone's absolute most favorite segment, we took a poll. Brian, why don't you roll that beep? beautiful bean, fun fact footage, and tell us all about Dredd.
Thank you, gentlemen. Producer Brian here. And today we're trying to fix up a sequel to 2012's Dredd. Directed by Pete Travis and written by Alex Garland, this movie stars Carl Urban, Olivia Thirlby, Wood Harris, and Lita Headey. It had a budget of $45 million and made $41.5 million at the box office. Here are some fun Bean facts. Garland had started working on the script in 2006. Judge Dredd creator John Wagner was a consultant on the film. The slow-mo sequences were designed over several years to get the right effect. There were plans for a full trilogy if Dredd made over $50 million in North America. It did not. Garland said that a second film would focus on the origins of Dredd and Mega City 1, and a third would introduce Dredd's nemesis, the undead judge and his dark judges. A TV show was discussed, but no news there either. And if you care, it has an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 3.6 out of 5 on Letterboxd. I love this movie and will always be hoping for some sort of a sequel or TV series. Anyway, back to you, gentlemen, and please enjoy writing your sequel.
Well done, Brian.
Excellent, Brian. Feels good. Feeling good in the neighborhood.
I judge you clean. You're fine. You can. Oh,
Is cleanliness part of the Judge Dredd situation?
well, yeah. Sometimes if you're a vagrant or something like that, they're like, oh, no, you violated
I
the
don't
law.
know.
You're
That just felt like it had a religious.
It
bent.
was not the best
felt-
word. I'll
it
give you
felt a
that.
little-
But my brain was running out of time. Pick
Purity.
a word. Pick a word.
Oh.
Clean came out. It wasn't the best. But as judge, jury, and
Oh,
executioner,
man.
I can judge anything I damn well want.
Yeah.
I am the law.
Speaking of saying whatever we want to, we've come to our next segment, our absolute most favorite segment. We took a poll.
Everyone voted. It
We should
was
probably
by
tell
law.
people what happened in this movie. If you haven't seen Dredd, in everyone's absolute most favorite segment, plop drop, plop drop.
I see what you did there, Jay.
Yeah.
Would you like me to do it?
I mean, I could.
Do you want to do it?
It's gonna be a ramble, but I can.
Oh, do you want to ramble?
Yeah, let's.
You
Yeah,
feel like- you
I'll
feel like
tell
a
you.
ramble?
Okay, so we're in Earth. What is it called? Mega City.
Mega City 1.
We're in Mega City 1. We are in not necessarily a post-apocalyptic Earth, but close. We're in a post-capitalist era, I would imagine. Like we are in the fall of modern society.
I guess. It's a long fall.
It's hard to describe what it actually is. It's like a neopunk, but with a
It's a grittier cyberpunk.
A
It's not
grittier
quite,
cyberpunk.
It's not
There it
quite
is.
as cyberpunk.
yes, it's more punk than cyber.
Yes,
but still.
I think it
cyberpunk.
would be in the cyberpunk.
So like cyber double punk,
sure,
or like half, Diet Coke cyberpunk,
sure.
or like yeah.
Well, the original version, which is what the picture in the background is depicting, was way more cyberpunk than Dredd was.
Yeah. So
Well,
this is cyber double punk. Let's just say that.
Sure.
We are in a world in which the law enforcement has decided to consolidate all branches of its arm into one force. The judges are now cops and vice versa, and these law enforcement officers dispense justice, and at all steps of that process, including executing people if need be.
On the spot.
On the spot. Yeah, it's wild. Judge Dredd is a grizzled cop out of Mega City 1, and he is in the process of testing a new recruit in order to get their badge. A private, I guess, was it, or was it officer?
She's a rookie.
Officer Anderson.
Yep. First day on the job.
And she is, we come to find out that she is a mutant, and she has mind reading abilities, and
She's a
is
psychic.
also slightly prescient. And that she can see the future to some degree. But I think she can see the future in that, like, she can read people's intentions.
She can read people's intentions, yes.
And so they are called to Peachtree Tower, and we are found out that there has been a murder of 3 people in Peachtree. And Peachtree, we've come to find out, is in control of one large gang that took over.
All 200 levels.
Yes, Peachtree Tower is what are they called? A block?
Yes.
It's considered a block, and in Mega City there are a lot of these blocks which are basically like high-rise slums is kind of the vibe.
Yep.
And they're here to investigate a murder and find out that Mama is the one who has taken over pretty much all of organized crime on Peachtree Block, and she killed these 3 people as a message, but her assistant did it sloppily. They kind of come into contact with them, but then as the judges show up, Mama has kind of hacked the entire system of the block and locks it down, and it basically won't let it go until Judge Dredd and his officer trainee Anderson are killed.
It's kind of like the Raid.
It's literally the Raid with Judge Dredd, and that is not. It's an oversimplification to some degree, but it is not a criticism.
No, not at all.
So basically, Judge Dredd and Anderson fight their way to the top.
Things get crazy. Lots of guns, lots of explosions.
Lots of guns.
Lots of pew-pews.
Some bad judges come into the mix who have been bought off by Mama. And eventually, Judge dispenses justice on Mama and executes her by throwing her through
out of the window.
All
the way down.
While on slow-mo, which was a really fun drug idea from a movie-making perspective, because it just gives you an excuse to use slow-mo.
Yep, diegetic slow-mo mode.
Yeah, diegetic slow-mo. We're diegetic slow-mo.
We just need a one-word suggestion. The best joke we've ever said.
And from a character development standpoint, Anderson realizes that she is not going to pass the exam, and she is fine with that because she finds the judge system to perhaps be a little bit barbaric. But realizing her sparing someone who didn't necessarily deserve death for their life and was more of a victim of the system, even though they were actively committing crimes, Judge Dredd deemed her fit for duty. And that's where we end the movie.
Yeah, the movie starts and ends like
he fights his way up, gets his mark, and then that's it.
That's it.
And I
We're done.
appreciate the simplicity of it.
The movie's 90 minutes.
Yeah, it clips.
It very much clips.
Yeah, and it's never really like fully confirmed as to if this is connected to the other movies in any way.
Doesn't need to be.
I don't think that it is.
No, I just think it's like they're trying to give the franchise another shot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of. I mean, I think this was more of definitely a situation of fans of the franchise being like, let's try this again.
Yes.
More Judge Dredd. There's something here. We can do this, and they were able to.
And we have entered. So that's what we're fixing. Thanks for listening to Plop Drop, everybody. Everyone's favorite segment. We took a poll. I'm gonna call it Plop Drop.
Thanks, bud.
Until I forget.
One small mispronunciation, weeks of content. You are welcome.
Look, man, I gotta keep these wheels spinning over here, okay? You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying.
Lip wizard, come on now. You freaky lip wizard. Okay. So we are fixing Dredd this week.
Yes.
And we have entered a similar situation to Rampage, and not completely. In that, like, I don't think this movie necessarily requires like a large fix.
No.
In the actual movie.
No, it's great. It's
I think where this movie falls apart is you have a lot of pieces, and it seems like they were trying to make a play to make more of these movies.
Yes.
But you have a movie that is actually quite enjoyable.
Yes.
And quite well made for the time. And like for all intents and purposes, a very well executed movie with the intention of a franchise, but for some reason the way this movie was made, it just did not, there was not really an ability to latch on to the concept of more.
Yeah.
I did not I really like this movie. I do not leave this movie really wanting or needing more. And I feel like the reason that this movie got made was the intention of maybe making a bunch of these.
Well, this movie, the 90s version, was definitely a 90s movie, kind of like Demolition Man was fun. Here's Judge Dredd's a property that's kind of similar-esque in a weird-esque future, and like there's a
I'll be
weird
honest,
system and stuff.
I'll
and,
take the Judge Dredd movie over Demolition Man any day of the week.
I haven't actually seen this one in a while.
It's fun.
That's the thing, though. Judge Dredd in and of itself
Shouldn't be fun.
It's not all that fun. It's supposed to be a little bit more badass and
But I
like
think-
and actiony.
But I have to be honest. I think that's kind of where the wheels fall off of this, like
A little bit,
culturally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think, and the more I've like kind of like meditated, if that's
So
the right word.
you're listening to music.
Yeah, as I
and
was
you-
pacing around my
Yeah,
house,
Taking it to the streets.
I feel like it's not that because this is a franchise that it's like, why did this never really take off? I think it's that I think it's that society as a whole maybe started becoming just more aware of what was going on socially, and it's like the whole concept of Judge Dredd, which when we were kids in the 90s and whatnot, it was like, Judge Dredd's badass. He just does what he wants. And now we're kind of like, yeah, I don't know if I want to watch a cop just do what they want to do. I'm not sure how I feel about that. We don't like that anymore.
The concept kind of aged poorly, not because of the people who write this and have and make good content. It's just the real world stuff kind of got a little too close to this, or is getting too close to this, and it's like, oh yeah, maybe this isn't fun in fiction anymore.
And I even felt this as I was rewatching this. I watched this with the Discord. If you are not part of the previous Discord server, definitely come join. We do watch-alongs of stuff that we're doing on the channel.
We're almost at 5,000.
We're almost at 5,000 people. The watch-alongs have been super fun. Really appreciate you guys being there. Yeah, just join the Discord. Discord.gg/preview. Come check us out.
The link is down in the description.
It's the best thing we've ever done. As far in regards to our channel. At the very end of this movie, when he, dispenses justice and takes out Mama in a very badass fashion, and like in the same way she killed those other dudes, and like giving him slow-mo. And I will say for someone murdering another human being, a beautiful scene.
Yes.
Like visually, it's very well done. But it does, and it slowing down almost drives the point home to me mentally. I just felt icky about it. I was like, this isn't how this is supposed. I don't feel vindicated.
It's a little anticlimactic.
But like kind of in a like, yeah, she could have just.
Yeah. It was a little anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Because the fight was over at that point, and she just like, if I die, the top 20 blocks of this thing, or the top 20 levels of this is all going to go up, and that's going to cause the entire structure to fall down. Yeah. So if you kill me, everything dies. It's like, oh, I got to figure out a way out of the situation. Well, if you actually die at the bottom, your signal won't reach all. Okay, well, here you go. Yeah. So like it wasn't. Yeah, it's a little.
It just. It's. And we were talking about this earlier. Judge Dredd is in a tricky spot, and for those who are following along with our fix, what we're going to attempt to do today is try to build on this movie and make this a franchise.
Yes. We're going to propose a little fix for this, but then we're going to branch that off into a sequel to hopefully, like, hey, maybe...
hopefully fill out this world, because this movie is fun. It's like the action's good.
Yes.
As far as action movies goes, like this kicks ass.
Yeah, and the world, there's over 40 years of content to pull for making Judge Dredd stuff. There's so many comics and there's so many stories. And a lot of them are freaking insane. Yeah. That there's a lot of stuff you could pull here to make some actually really fun movies.
But this movie, I think its fatal flaw is that the lesson. I'm not sure what the lesson is supposed to be. Yeah. In that we have our Officer Anderson, who is like, our audience surrogate to some degree.
A little bit, yeah.
And we're supposed to like really like understand her, and she finally finds out that like she's able to like see in people's minds and like actually judge them, which is interesting. But she's she doesn't want to hurt any innocent people. But then you have our main character, Judge Dredd, who is like, all of it is written around praising him for like, staunchly upholding the law. The only problem is the concept of law in this world is oppressive and wrong.
Yeah.
in a way that I'm like, okay, so I'm supposed to respect this guy for being, and then the dirty cops show up, and it's just like, I feel like they're on equal footing here. He's like, you guys don't respect the law. And in my head, I was like, I literally said out loud to no one, yeah, but the law also sucks. Like, this movie sets up or there's all these mob bosses and organized crimes, and I was like, I feel like they're also in the mayor's office too. They're just another gang. It just like we've created a world in which I don't root for our main character really.
There's nothing to root for in this world. It's all just really bad.
Like Mega City sucks, and nothing that happens in this movie makes Mega City suck a little bit less, other than bringing in Officer Anderson, who actually maybe has a heart.
Yeah, the people in Peachtree are still in Peachtree.
Like
their lives aren't really better.
Dredd
for
doesn't.
Mama not being there anymore.
Dredd doesn't have a heart.
This version of Dredd doesn't have a heart.
Yeah.
In the '90s movie, he did because he had that relation. He was having that relationship with Diane Lane.
Oh, that's right.
Right, against his evil clone brother Rico, which is one of the stories from the comics.
But I will say, like, all that to being said,
yeah,
that some of the fights are real good.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yes,
Judge Dredd's got good gadgets.
mm-hmm.
It's like Batman. It's like if Batman and Punisher had a baby, or I guess Iron Man and Punisher, I would say.
There's some
like,
really good action in this.
His gun is cool.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's connected to his DNA makes that guy's hand explode. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Practical effect too.
Yeah.
They did a fun little shot there, so I caught it. I was like, "Oh, you little wizards."
The thing is, this movie was probably made for, and I'm sure Brian told us this. Maybe $30-40 million.
Yeah.
Which is a lower budget film nowadays.
Yeah.
And they cranked it out. There weren't all. It was basically a bottle episode. They reused a bunch of sets.
Yeah.
It wasn't all that expensive to make, and it was a great story.
Yeah.
Which and for the most part,
And good
Judge
fights.
Dredd is kind of more an anthology series. At least it started out that way, and then it became more and more, storyline driven and like things, characters coming back in here and there. But
Yeah.
for the most part, it's just kind of an anthology of just like this happens and then
It's
this happens over here.
It's almost a detective novel.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's over 40 years of comics, and it was originally published in a British magazine called 2000 AD.
Interesting.
And then IDW also had a run of comics for them, starting in 2012 to 2020.
Oh, okay.
Over 90 issues, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a lot of Judge Dredd out there. Like, this character and this world is popular for an audience. It's the general audience that would see this movie that's having a problem picking up on it.
Yeah.
Because I think it's just kind of what the tone or what the message of these movies is or are.
It's just this movie has a pretty firm idea of what it wanted to do, and I think it executes it quite well. And I feel like it was trying to world build towards making more of these movies.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I got to the end of this movie and I was like, I don't really need it anymore. I'm okay. Why is that? Because I could feel the play for more, and not in a bad way. But I just don't care.
Yeah.
Why don't I care?
Well, because
the city's not better.
Nothing's better.
Yeah.
And I think that's why. This world is so bad. Storyline wise, it's like all this stuff takes place like in the late century, so like in the 2090s, to 21 aughts, and World War III happened. A lot of nukes went off, and there's only like a couple of major mega cities left. There's Mega City 1, which is Boston, which is basically a city from Boston to DC. There's Mega City 2, which I believe is like the West Coast, San Francisco, LA, all kind of stuff. And there's one in Texas. That's basically everything that's in America. There's one in like South America. There's a couple, maybe in Europe, one in Russia, one in China, and that's it. Like all the population is just mega cities around the world because everything else is basically irradiated in wastelands.
Interesting.
But the cities all suck.
Yeah.
Everything's it's just bad for everybody. So like for a general audience, there's no hope. There's no Judge Dredd isn't fighting to make people's lives better. It's just like and more of the same.
It seems like from what I've seen, it was like a lot of these early books were just like, it's just like Future Cops, like the show.
Yeah.
It's just kind of watching them go out and be like, let's be future cops.
Well, the original purpose of the story back in the 70s when this thing started was satirizing British and American police culture.
Yeah.
And of course, the satire kind of became real.
Yeah, it kind of got twisted in a way, like nobody's really learning the lessons that they're supposed to, especially in 90s comics where they were like, yeah, he's like the anti-hero. We're still recovering from 90s anti-hero concepts. Like, it's...
Yeah.
Like, we're never going to get a good Spawn movie.
No.
It's never going to happen.
No, probably not.
It's just not.
But Dredd has all the makings of a good franchise.
I agree.
You can make good movies,
and I think
with
you can
Dredd.
do it with this cast.
Yes,
like this was.
There's just
the two of them were awesome. Mm-hmm. I liked their dynamic.
You can do it for lower budgets, and you just need to change. You got to just massage the comic material a little bit,
just a little bit,
just to give the general audience something to root for.
Yeah,
because there's really nothing like, kill this mob, this mob boss. She's doing drugs in this, or selling drugs in the block. Yeah, that's bad. But like, what happens if she's gone? Our lives are still the same. It all sucks.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
I think you can end if we're like gonna fix and move on to like a proposed sequel to this. Mm-hmm. I think there needs to be if Judge Dredd has to kill Mama at the end of this movie. Mm-hmm. I think you need to input a situation in which it's more of a self-defense. He didn't have I think he learns some kind of lesson from Anderson a little bit.
Sure.
And like he reads Mama's mind and she is like, she's like either like she's innocent, you don't need to kill her, or she reads her mind and she's like, she's got to go.
Well, she's also a victim of the system.
Absolutely.
As opposed to, it's like mostly everybody is.
But I think they need to like save Peachtree in some visual and visceral manner.
And also that the Peachtree is somehow now better for her being gone.
And if we can set up a situation where it's like, hey, there are like all these gangs in the city and we need to we're going to start taking them out one by one. Like, you guys might be the right people for the job for this new task force. Mm-hmm. Something to that effect.
Anything that makes the people happy when she's gone. It just seems like Peachtree is going to more of the same.
It's just a power vacuum.
Yeah.
Congrats. You've made it worse for a little while. I don't know.
Yeah, just some type of hope or betterment of the people of Mega City 1, or just this block. It's just the start.
Yes. I need his justification. I need whatever happens to Mama to be a Dredd choice and not him upholding the law.
Oh, okay, I can see that.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
I need it to be I need to see the human in Judge Dredd a little bit. Regardless of what he does. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like we never really see the human. He never takes his helmet off.
No, he doesn't.
Not once. And I appreciate that choice stylistically.
Yeah. And Carl Urban did a great job.
He did a great job, but as an audience member, it is a little like it's the Master Chief's problem. I'm like, I need him to take his helmet off because I need to see him as a human being.
Oh, okay.
But also, you need to, or Boba Fett.
Yes.
I'm like, put your helmet on, dude. Hey, bud. I know you're a serious actor, and I know you all want us to take you seriously. You're Boba Fett. Put your damn helmet on. Put it on. And I'm your biggest fan. Put your helmet on. I didn't come here to see your face. I came here to see you in that cool helmet doing badass stuff. Stop talking to Steve Rust and put your helmet on.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's like tricky.
It is tricky. But Carl, I mean, at least, you can see
Carl Urban's so handsome.
He's so handsome, and he's also very good at it. He can
act
the hell out of it, just down
That's
here.
what we're talking about. That's what I've shown up for. I want to see his handsome mug.
He's angry. I'm the law.
Yeah.
I'm the law. Swear to me.
Like, I want to know more about Judge Dredd as a human being.
Sure. So, basically the fix is the story needs a little hope.
Yes. I mean, it's that simple.
It is truly that simple. Just make the world less hopeless.
Just make the world a better place.
Just for a general audience.
Yes.
Just gotta make the Mega City 1 just a little less hopeless. That's all.
Like, what are we fighting for?
The status quo? Because
Yeah.
Batman was, the reason why Batman is so good is like because a similar character taking the law into his own hands, kind of, but like he was going up against a corrupt system. But you see Batman's influence, helped Gordon
Yes.
get the job at the police department.
Judge Dredd
The
showing
mayor-
up doesn't really help anyone there.
It stops a bad guy from doing a thing, but then he goes off to. At the beginning of the movie, they say the judge department or whatever it's called gets like 16,000 calls of crimes a minute. But there's only like X amount of judges. We get to, and we will, can only go to like 500 of them. Which one are we going to? And Anderson picks, Murders at Peachtree. Okay, let's go to that one. This is random. She's just randomly like, Murders at Peachtree. Let's go to that one. It's like, the situation in this city is terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, this sucks. Yeah.
Okay, so how do we...
So let's make a franchise out of this.
Let's make this a franchise.
So the first fix, obviously, is it got to be a little bit of hope. Judge Dredd's actions have to make people's lives better.
Yes.
So there are 40 years worth of big old plot lines and big stories that are really apparently super epic that I've even heard about some stuff.
Yeah.
And I've never read these comics, and I just got filtered down. It's like, oh yeah, I know about that thing.
It seems like a comic franchise you would be into. It's Punisher meets Power Rangers.
Well, he doesn't morph. I mean, maybe if he morphed into Judge. It's judging time.
You
And
know,
then the helmet. just
yes,
kinda forms
I
off and then it
appreciate that you're getting lost into semantics here, but like, come on, like, meet me halfway. Well, he doesn't have a Morphin, he doesn't have a Zord. He's technically, yeah, I know. Lash.
That's one of the
Lash.
reasons why I like Power Rangers. Is like they do a thing to
okay.
get more power.
All right, never mind. You know what? Never mind. I take it back.
Too late, you can't.
Well, they don't morph. Cool, man.
So I went through the Wikipedia entry
He
of,
read the books, everybody.
of Judge Dredd. I did not read the books. I read some paragraphs. There are a lot of stories here. And some of them are crazy complicated and huge and epic and sweeping, all kinds of stuff. Far too big for a movie
Yeah.
to do it any justice. But there are a few smaller stories that we could start building a more of a franchise off of. Again, kind of like an anthology, kind of like, hey, this is just another Judge Dredd story. There are two that I've narrowed this down to that I think would make a good jumping off point for a movie that we can, kind of just like, hey, this is the main thrust of the story. How do we make this a movie?
All right.
So the first one is called Luna 1.
Party.
And basically what happens is that Dredd gets assigned to act for 6 months as the Judge Marshal of Luna 1.
Hogwarts.
Nope, Luna 1.
Luna Lovegood.
Nope, she's not there.
Hogwarts.
No, she died in the radiation. Of a colony. All the wizards died.
Yeah,
They all died. They
all
all
the
died.
Harry Potter rule got totally
yeah,
wiped. They got
totally wiped out.
They got
yeah.
nuked first.
They didn't.
That's
yeah.
mostly because JK's a seraph, but
There's no magic against radiation. Sorry.
suck on these Patronuses. Boom! My Patronus is a bomb.
So he gets sent to Luna 1 to act as Judge Marshal for 6 months, and it's a colony on Earth's moon.
Oh, okay.
And it's governed by judges of all 3 megacities. So this story introduces Luna 1 and judges from East Meg 1 and Texas City.
Okay.
So basically that's all the Wikipedia says. Go to the moon colony. You're in charge. Here's some other judges from other megacities, and be in charge of Luna 1 for 6 months.
Okay. I have I like this. I have some reservations about it. I don't know if it's the second movie, but what are
Here's the second one. The second one is
it's more that feels like a third movie to me last year.
Sure, that one seemed like a very simple setup.
Yes.
In that.
Oh no, I appreciate the simplicity.
And also
of
from
it.
like a line production standpoint, it's like we just need to go have a couple cents. Here's what the moon colony kind of looks like, and something happens here, and the judges have to interact.
To me is that I would like the second movie to be let's see the judges' ability to actually help Mega City 1.
Then you're probably gonna like this one. This one, it takes place apparently a little after Luna 1, at least when they produced this stuff, published this stuff. This one is called The Day the Law Died.
Okay.
So basically, to sum it up, basically an internal affairs judge.
Okay.
His name is Judge Cal. Arranges the assassination of the chief judge, and then assumes the position.
Okay.
So like I think it was like that nice
Yes.
lady cop at the beginning was like, Judge, Dredd, I want you to take her out. I think like she was like the chief.
Yeah.
So basically, like this Judge Cal, internal affairs judge type of guy, would assassinate the main chief and assume the position, and he's basically Caligula. And his being in charge of the judges makes Mega City 1 descend into basically anarchy and Rome under Caligula. So, and he also is able to brainwash most of the judges through sci-fi stuff, but Dredd and a few other people, also Anderson probably, who I don't think is in the story at this point, but like we could make her be in there, are able to, aren't brainwashed for whatever reason, and form a resistance to free the city and kill Cal to free them from these insane judges.
Interesting.
And
I think that might be the winner.
That could be a way of like, oh, Mega City 1 is bad. This is worse. Yes, Judge Dredd and his, ragtag group of people can actually save the city and improve everyone's lives by getting rid of this guy.
Yeah.
I think that might be a winner.
I think that might be the winner. And because I feel like we can have I feel like this first movie planted the seeds of Anderson kind of maybe changing the heart and mind of Judge Dredd in a way that we as an audience member of normal human beings in normal world can get behind.
Yes.
Because I want to root for someone who is fighting like hell for order and peace. Mm-hmm. I want to fight for that. But you've got to... But also, do you know what I root for even more than that?
What's that?
Somebody who's just trying to do the right thing in the only way they know how. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's not the right way to do it. Like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Here we go! Like, they're like kind of bending... Rules are meant to be broken. Mm-hmm. Like, we love that kind of devil-may-care aspect of it. Okay, I think that might be our one. Is there a third one?
Nope, that was just the two.
Oh, okay.
Just easy. Choose one.
Okay.
Let's do that one.
So where do we open this movie?
I think this is easy up opening, maybe into the first act. We just start with Dredd doing a thing.
Okay.
We just start media res during Dredd doing a thing. Dispensing justice, no rookie, just doing cool things, right? Busting something.
Because busting makes you feel good.
It doesn't matter what universe it is. Busting makes you feel good.
Yeah, dude. That's another universal constant. We gotta start writing these down.
We do have to write these down.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what exists. What doesn't matter what realm you're in. Busting makes you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, Dredd busting the crime, executing people, just doing things. Cool fight scene at the beginning. Nothing too out of the not super crazy, but just like some good gunplay. Dredd doing this thing, but in the wrap up of it, maybe it was like a big drug buster, some type of thing.
Sure.
That we meet the internal affairs. I'm just gonna. That's not what they call it in the but for us, internal affairs, and we're gonna meet Judge Cal, who's in charge of internal affairs, so we can meet this character.
Yeah.
And we can see him interact with Dredd, and like they don't like each other.
No.
Because, Dredd's like, the law, justice, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, there's a certain way of doing this, and I don't like the way you're doing this, but I'm upholding the law. And you can see them at odds.
Yeah, you're upholding the law, but like the optics are not great. Like you need to understand, there's certain, it's maybe there's like a certain level of facade to it, like almost a commentary on like social media and whatnot. Maybe.
Well, we could do it now. I mean, it wasn't as
fair.
It wasn't as prevalent back in 2012.
I'm more trying to like see where that how that affects the actual overall arc of that character, but I'm not sure.
I mean, he's basically Caligula, so which is why he's Cal. So we can see a little bit of just a little taste of his
I think we have an opening situation with Dredd and Anderson taking out the trash together.
Sure.
But there is much like what happened in the first movie, we see the two of them make a call to not execute someone or do something. They do something their own way that may not be exactly protocol.
Mhm.
And our internal affairs officer is like, here, like, he almost is like going through their body cam footage, like, and we can use him to start building us trusting our two main characters a little bit more. And he's just like, here's what the protocol would have been in this situation, and this situation. He's like, I don't understand, like, if we do not respond with like supreme
Maximum
prejudice,
force, yes,
like, this city will be overrun.
it's already anarchy out there. You need to, the only way we're holding
Like,
on to
might
society,
makes right. This, like, but in a very bureaucratic way, in a way that's almost true evil is mundane. Like, that's the kind of, I want a detachment of it. Like, who's like Captain Holt, but wildly evil.
Oh, okay, whoa,
Evil. That kind of vibe.
sure. So we start that. We meet Cal.
Yeah.
And we see Dredd and Anderson. I think having Anderson in here is good. Then I think Cal can get called into the Chief Justice's office, and they could have a meeting, and we could see them kind of roll back and forth a little bit.
Yeah.
So that we can see, like, oh, this guy sucks.
Like, the actual captain?
No, Cal is got some wild ideas, and, like, he is not playing well with anybody. This guy sucks.
Oh, you were seeing Cal with the chief of judges. Great. Okay.
And then the chief judge can maybe talk to Dredd or something like that, just to kind of set the situation up a little bit, and then we can see Cal, his plans start to in action. Some of the judges maybe, and I think it could possibly be like, it's the future stuff. So anything you want. People, like, their HUDs on their helmets could probably get hacked.
Yes.
To brainwash them or whatever.
I have to be honest, I'm not sure brainwash is really necessary.
Okay.
I feel like if we cast someone as Cal that is enigmatic enough, I think it actually speaks more volumes if he just wins by strength of personality and
making a good argument.
Yeah. I think it's more of a comment on, the mob mentality of things.
Sure.
And, like, the political strength of this character. I think how you set up that scene, I think it's that whatever Judge Dredd and Anderson did got a lot of media attention.
Sure.
And so they've been called into the office of the chief of judges. But basically, like, he's running late, and so they get reamed out by internal affairs, who is there for that meeting as well.
Okay, that's a great
So, like,
idea.
that scene starts, and then, as the chief of judges comes in, we can kind of smash that into one scene and kind of do that very economically.
That's great. Yeah. Then Cal can, like, figure out how to assassinate the Chief Justice. Then
it needs to happen in a way that, like, and I feel like for fidelity of time, maybe it's also Anderson is still, like, quote unquote in, like, training.
Sure.
And is still, like, in a quote unquote apprentice. And she's at her graduation, like, the chief of judges is giving, like, a speech or something, and he is assassinated there.
Great.
And maybe Cal sets himself up to really look like a hero in that circumstance.
Sure.
And he's the one that, like, catches the assassins and whatnot.
And you know what?
Even if Dredd and Anderson do all the legwork,
sure,
he's the one that gets the credit for it and uses that politically
to attain the position.
Yeah.
And what if in the meeting at the very beginning, Anderson can kind of glean something from Cal that she then whispers to Dredd later on? I was like, "There's something." He's very schooled. His mind, but, like, there's something.
There's nothing. Nothing is
I'm
an
worried
accident with him.
I'm worried.
Yeah.
There's something not right there.
Yeah.
And so they can already kind of be on the.
She was like, his mind is very regimented. There's nothing about our conversation surprised him. Nothing. And he's like, well, blah blah blah. She's like, no, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't happen.
That's controlled chaos and something's.
Yeah.
That's not how a human brain. Yeah. That's not how. Yeah.
Like, nobody has everything in a box like that.
Mm-hmm. So then the chief judge gets assassinated. Cal uses the opportunity. He assumes the position, and then we see him start to really change the judges, and really starts his program of zero tolerance, really bringing the hammer down, and you can kind of see the descent. I think that's the end of Act 1. He assumes the position.
And I think in our transition into Act 2, we see a mega city that is like kind of overrun with crime, and we can kind of set this up into Act 1 and like things people are saying. But we're seeing the rise of a lot of gang leaders and whatnot, and a lot of it's worse than it was, and it was still it was already pretty bad.
Yeah, and so then Cal starts ordering the judges to, and if we kind of want to get it towards the Caligula stuff of like, okay, this is yikes on bikes. The first few steps are kind of like maybe the judges become a little bit more theatric with their judgments and their executions and their dispensing of law and order.
And things become a little bit more media forward.
Just a little bit. So because it becomes a little bit more of a circus of this is. Well, a good thing it's a good thing they're just doing this to the bad guys, right?
Yeah.
And there's and there can be a few people that Dredd and Anderson. Maybe we meet a few more of the judge friends that are kind of more like-minded with them. Maybe we meet some of the other characters that are in comics. There's some like robots and some aliens or whatever. Maybe we don't do aliens, but like there are other people in this world in the comics that maybe we meet and Dredd and Anderson could talk to them and be like, yeah, something is wrong.
Yeah.
Like this isn't right. Things slowly descend until that midpoint of Act 2 where, okay, now just normal, good, at least the decent people are also now being targeted and stuff because the judges have gone completely out of control because Cal's like, no, it's everybody. Everyone, you know what? Everyone's bad. There are no good people in Mega City 1. So, like, any, kind of like the Justice Lords. You don't get that. You never watched the Justice League animated cartoons, but like it's just any infraction, death.
Yeah.
Any infraction.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no, what do we do? And most of the judges have just like gone along with it. And so Dredd realizes that there's only a handful of people that he trusts, and we have to take out Cal.
Yeah. And I think maybe, because like obviously we want to exist in a storyline in which this new chief of judges is like kind of, I want to say like paying off some of these gangsters in order to like maintain like the crime rate.
I mean, in the storyline,
but I think there's a better twist there.
Well, in the storyline, there Cal does hire a bunch of alien mercenaries to help like lock down Mega City 1. So like maybe we can, swap out aliens for, a consolidation of like crime families or something like that, just to be like really like, okay, this is really bad. Cal is just using his power and influence and what money he has to, like really lock down on people. He's even using bad guys to just to like, and because things can keep descending in Mega City 1, like. The ride down to hell, it doesn't stop when Dredd and the gang realize we have to stop this. Like, no, things are becoming more public. Normal people are being pulled out of homes. Like, this is no longer the law.
Yeah.
And not everyone here is bad.
Yeah. And I'll say, I mean, and part of me wants to make this more complicated, but like, honestly, also what I enjoyed about this first movie is kind of how simple it is.
Yes, that's in my head too. I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible, just so it was like, oh, team of good guys, go kill the bad guys. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think maybe like honestly, like our second act into third act, I don't think it's necessarily going after the chief because I don't think that's possible. I think maybe it's a similar circumstance to this first movie, in that they are sent to take out, similar to this first movie, they're sent to take out a gang lord, but it comes down to they finally figure out through the intel and things like that like this is something's fishy here. She reads the mind of the gang leader, realizes like what's actually happened. They make a deal with him in order to testify against the chief of judges, but they have to fight their way out in order to get this person to testify against the council of judges, or like the chief of judges.
Okay.
No, not feeling it.
Only because
it's similar.
It's too similar. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm down with trying to simplify the we're here, go here type of
Sure.
type of action. I think to try to simplify it a little bit, because I know this is a little bit more complicated than just, oh no, we're trapped in a building, we got to fight our way out.
Yeah.
I think this time we're kind of like we're trapped in a city and we gotta stop the madness
Okay.
type of thing. Of we reach a point of dissension of like, okay, someone needs to step up and stop this because the judges are out of control.
But how do you stop it?
I think you have to go back and you got to break. You gotta fight through the office.
Oh, of judges?
Yeah,
I mean,
there you go.
I can just see the action sequence in my head in a way that's pretty fun.
Yeah, we can see the city has been descending into just to simplify the story down, and also from a line production standpoint, because that's going to probably be really important for this franchise to keep it under budget. Is that okay? Outside in the city, everything is crazy, and the judges are out of control, and there's only so much that Dredd and Anderson and a couple of their friends can do. They can't handle the stuff that's going on outside. We got to cut the head off the snake.
Yeah.
And the only way to stop this is to stop Cal, and he's ensconced in HQ, and he's hired mercenaries, or he's hired, other drug lords or mob people to be his enforcers or whatever.
Yeah.
Basically, they realize they break into HQ at the end of Act 2. Act 3 is just totally them working their way through the building to stop Cal.
Yeah.
And to try to minimize killing judges on the way up, but at the same time, maybe they're just like, you know what? These guys have lost what the law is.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. But then, yeah. Okay. There's got to be, but what's our... I feel like we're missing something.
Okay.
And I'm not sure what that something is. Because I appreciate the simplicity of it. But, what do our main characters learn throughout the process of this movie? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
What's the lesson here? And I'm not saying everything has to have a lesson, but I'm saying structuring with this franchise is important. I think because it allows they've almost removed the humanity out of a lot of stuff, and I think that's the point. But we need to infuse at least a little bit for us to be able to latch on to.
Sure.
What is overcoming? What's Dredd's goal for getting rid of Cal? In that, what is he going to do? What problem does that fix? Do you know what I'm saying?
Sure. I think it could maybe it pushes Dredd into the fully into Anderson's side of thinking, because maybe he was kind of partially there a little bit, and understanding that sometimes you do have maybe mercy is the right call.
Yeah,
but he sometimes doesn't always really agree with it. But it's but now it can be no.
We have people that can read people's intentions now.
Yeah, we have
ways of reading people's hearts and minds. There's no reason that we should just be
indiscriminately killing everybody.
Yes.
All 800 million people in Mega City 1 are not bad.
Yes.
A lot of them are bad. The circumstances are bad, but not all of them deserve this.
Yeah.
And we are this is no longer the law.
Yeah.
This is you're just killing for whimsy. You're killing because you think this is, that you are having fun. You are having a good time off of this.
Yeah.
You've given up, Cal, on the good people of Mega City 1. They actually do deserve a chance. Now, he's still a hard ass. He's still going to lay down the law in the future. But and
I think there's maybe something to the effect of maybe Anderson, who has been a mutant and kind of abused by society for a long time. Now that she's becoming an officer, maybe she's trying to get used to her real life, and she's trying to assimilate and understand culturally what things are, and so she actually starts to meet, people and society, and maybe tries to include Dredd in that to remind him a little bit of hey, we're all just human beings, there's law, and that's important because it's the only thing keeping us from the brink, and I appreciate that, but You need to lighten up, bud.
Yeah, but the law just brought us this. Maybe this is the extreme version of what Judge Dredd's mindset is. He's now seeing the extreme version of it and realizing, oh, maybe I do.
Oh,
Maybe I need to just pull back just a little,
yes.
just a little, not much,
And
but
maybe
just
that's like
a
the
little.
whole concept of Cal is like, look, like we were lax on our laws, and we almost completely destroyed ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like there's a complete justification inside of him.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I know that was like a nitty gritty like.
No, but it's good.
I'm
That
like,
stuff,
why
that,
do I
that,
care?
That stuff is good.
Because again, I was like, we're just there's another bad guy we got to fight through a building to get to.
Mm-hmm.
Like what? Who is this character? Why are we getting to know him? I would like to see him and Anderson like at a street fair or something without their helmets on.
Yeah.
And the concept of Judge Dredd trying to like just enjoy a corn dog at a county fair or at a street fair is hilarious to me. That's a fun sequence.
Sure. Yeah, movie Dredd needs to be softened.
He needs to be a human being
in very small increments.
because like this movie to me kind of set him up like a murder robot in a way that I don't love.
Because like even John Wick, who is a murder robot, is led by his heart the whole time.
1,000%.
So
He
we
is
need to
an
give
emo-
Dredd. We need
he
to
is
give
an
Dredd a little bit of heart.
emotionally intelligent person, John Wick, and I think that speaks to Keanu Reeves.
Oh,
'cause
yeah,
I
absolutely.
think that's who he is as a person.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you're right. I think this could be Cal. So Cal's descent into madness. I'm just like, well, what's the ultimate law? It's the law of nature.
Oh,
I mean, the strong survive. They maim the weak. Then what's this? The city's just full of weak people. What else is there?
okay.
Because other crazy, horrible things happen to the other megacities. Because like it's all just it's cyberpunk punk. So everything there's lots of bad stuff. that
Double
happens.
punk.
Double punk. It's apparently different than punk.
Yeah.
So it just softens Dredd a little bit, just a little bit, because he sees the extreme version of law.
And it's different from punky punk, which that is punk rock Punky Brewster.
I was also thinking Punky Brewster. And you
Yeah.
beat me to it. Good job, bud.
Punky.
But yeah, full of all the shooting and all the cool stuff, all the fun fights, all the fun stuff. But we explore the world a little bit more.
Yeah. And I think maybe we, yeah. And I think there needs to be a fundamental shift in like the structure of judges by the end of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
In that perhaps like judges still maintain and do what they do, but instead of like there being a captain, perhaps like the head of the judges is like an actual like group of citizens or something to that effect.
Oh,
Do you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Because we are going to create a power vacuum
Mm-hmm.
by getting rid of Cal.
Sure.
And what do we replace it with?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or is there like or if we can set up like a community liaison judge who's like a good person a little bit and like has some like newer ideas, maybe one of the people that like Anderson meets like when she's getting into judge housing and whatnot, that they make the captain who is like got a little bit more of a handle on like what it's actually like there in. And I am understand that the consequence of this movie and what we're trying to drive home here isn't necessarily Judge Dredd.
It's not, but that's the thing when it comes to
given where we are
changing-
at as a society and politically right now, I just don't know if more. I think there's a reason they didn't make more of this because like I just have a hard time getting behind a police state, and I have to root for the police. So it's like I feel like while this might not be necessarily true to the core tenets of this property, I feel like in order for us to be able to like say something meaningful as a movie, you have to cut the edges off.
Oh, yes, you do. You got to cut it off a little bit, which is fine. You're changing the story a little bit for the fit the medium that it's in,
And for the time.
and for the time it's in.
Yeah.
And Judge Dredd is still a hard ass, dispensing the law and
Yes.
saving people. That part doesn't change. It's just like, hey, maybe we actually better the lives of the people of Mega City 1. Just
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Make this movie just a little bit more hopeful so
also,
people
you
will
don't
come see it.
Like, I also want to see a Judge Dredd who actually really cares about his city. And see that. Not have him say it a bunch of times and care about the law and whatnot. I want to see him, like, on his day off. Like, really embracing...
Teaching a basketball team.
that sounds. I know that was a bit, but
It's a bit.
I'm not. That's not totally off base. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I wanted to take I wanted to get a court ordered to take on coaching a small peewee hockey team, and take them to the championship.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I want to teach him.
The Mighty Dredd.
I just want to see Judge Dredd teach Keenan how to knuckle puck. You know what
Sure,
I'm saying?
yeah.
That's all I want.
It's a duck, but with the judge's helmet over it, right? It's just the beak sticking out.
That's pretty good.
Judge
That's
Duck.
not far off from just Gizmo Duck though.
It is not. Yeah. Bother skates.
Gizmo. Oh, just like a gritty Gizmo Duck reboot.
Not no, man.
Not no. Don't hate it.
Don't hate it.
Okay.
So I think we did it.
I feel happy with this Judge Dredd. I
Mhm.
think we kind of like really like encapsulated.
It's a good first draft.
Yes, it's a good first draft, and I think we've encapsulated like what actually just doesn't work about this franchise anymore.
In this media, yeah.
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 In comic books, like for
Comic books is totally fine because people got to find it, but for a general audience, it needs to be softened just a little bit.
Yeah. I just want to care about my main character.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's really it. Like I don't want to waste time just like not like we don't even know his first name.
I think it's Joe.
You sure? Really? Well, they never mention it in the movies.
Not this movie, no, but in the first one, his
Oh,
brother was Rico.
That's right.
Pretty sure. Yes, yeah, Rico Dredd.
Rico Dredd.
Rico Dredd.
Well, I think we fixed it, my dude.
Yeah, his first name was Joe.
I think we got there.
We did get there.
Now I want to see this. Well,
Do you? Kind of.
no. That's the thing is that like I think we fixed it in that like we could sell this, but I'm not sure if it's like I think as much as it's
This
weird.
one's tough,
I'm
yeah.
not satisfied, and I honestly think it's just this is one of those few fix it properties where I feel like they made the right call and just kind of like letting this one ride out. It's a fun franchise. It's a fun little world, but like I'm actually okay with it just existing in comics and kind of being done with it.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? And that wasn't that wasn't where I was at when we started.
Yeah. It's
I was like, oh yeah, this is better. I care more. I don't care anymore.
it's still a really rough world to be
I
a fan
just-
of, or just to be when you want to spend time in this
I
world.
feel like you
Yeah.
in that like you want a happy ending, and I was like, I want a happy ending. It's yeah. I don't always need a happy ending, but I need to know that like, for me, you want a happy ending in your stories. I would like a lesson of some kind.
Okay.
And this first movie just had no lesson. But also, I don't think there's lessons in the Judge Dredd universe, and I think that's the whole point. You're not allowed to learn lessons. If you screw up, you're done.
Kind of.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the comics are apparently great.
But we don't have necessarily the amount of skill set or like the toolbox that we would have if we really, really understood this property a little bit better.
That is true.
We're taking a lot of this at face value, and I
Yes, we are.
appreciate that. And if you know more about the Dredd Dredd comics and thinking that maybe that there's more of a heart here than we missed, let us know in the comments.
Oh yeah, we would love that. Yeah.
Or send us a message on Discord or what have you. But yeah, I think we did it, bud.
I agree. We did do it.
Look at us go.
Mhm.
But what are we doing next week?
So, because Fallout is coming in a couple of days. Well, not in a couple of days. In like next week.
Yeah.
If I got my math right, depending on when this comes out. It's coming out next week. We're going to do. I know we kind of did this last week. It turns out, but we're going to do a video game adaptations episode.
Oh, we already did that.
We did Doug, but we're talking like a modern movie, a modern game into a series.
Okay. I'm gonna put something out there
Okay.
for that.
Sure.
I feel like we should both do a full pitch
Okay.
for that.
Sure. Because there's a lot of games out there.
I think we should go back to the old model and do a full pitch.
Sure.
Right?
That sounds great.
Yeah. In order to separate it from our Dig Dug
Yes.
situation.
Our solid Dig Dug
Yeah.
pitch.
Ooh, what do I want to do?
Yeah.
I'll
What do you
figure
want
it
to
out. I'll figure it out.
do? But probably modern. Probably, maybe not. There is no. We didn't put any limits on this. You know, if you want to do Contra or anything crazy like that, you want to do Ninja Gaiden, go for it. You can do whatever you want.
Kingdom Hearts. Sweet Sweet Boy with the big shoes on the big screen. Well, thank you guys so much for listening and /watching/listening. If you guys are catching this on YouTube, you know what to do. Please like, subscribe, hit that bell, do that YouTube that you do so well. And if you're catching this, we're on all the audio platforms. Leave us a quick review, maybe 5 stars, maybe say something nice, maybe leave us a blueberry muffin recipe, whatever you want to do. I like reading them. They make me happy and they help us with the algorithm. We'd really appreciate it. But as we end every single one of these episodes, heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
It's the slow justice you don't see coming.
This has been Rug Talk. We'll see you next week.
Bye.